Hey everybody, this is Brandon with Love to Hate, Kiefer for Perez, and Cigars in Cinema. Got a question to ask you. Are you a fan of horror movies? Do you like to be scared? Is Halloween your thing? If you've answered yes to any of those questions, there's something you got to do. Texas Frightmare Weekend is coming May 5th, 6th, and 7th in DFW. Tickets are available at TexasFrightmareWeekend.com. Go check it out. The list of people that they have coming to this event gets more impressive every year. There's great photo ops, a lot of great vendors. Be there. It's going to be a killer event. Nat Sherman is the leading American luxury brand in premium cigars. From the classic range of the Metropolitan and Host selections to the transformative Timeless collection, their elegant Sterling and limited edition offerings, or the bold and commemorative 1930 blend Andy Polka. Everyone has the opportunity to enjoy a Nat Sherman experience. Family owned and operated since 1930, Nat Sherman's tradition of innovation and commitment to excellence reminds us why America's Nat Sherman brand is known as tobacconist to the world. Love to Hate, the podcast that asks the question, what do you love to hate?
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And I hate your ass face!
Do you love it?
No!
Do you hate it?
Oh, yeah. Yes!
You stupid, ignorant son of a bitch, dumb bastard!
I fart in your general direction!
No more foreplay.
Hey kids, it's Monday, so that means it's time for another 30 minutes spent with Brandon, Luna, and I listening to what we love to hate.
Oh yeah.
Nice. What are we going to hate on today?
Brandon Luna and Philip Fullman, by the way.
Did I not say my own name?
No. But that's okay.
I said Brandon Luna and I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Hey, how about
You're a
points?
pro.
How about points for proper English?
Right. Brandon Luna and
Brandon and me.
Right.
You know why? I'm just a cog in this wheel.
Right.
That's all.
You're just a good guy.
I try.
Yep.
Good guys don't always win, though.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, I learned. You know how I learned that?
How?
I was watching 24 Legacy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You watched that piece of shit?
Made it through like 3 episodes. Even my kid's like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
But then she sent me a text today going, apparently Tony's in 7 episodes. We may have to start watching again because she has a crush on Tony Almeida.
Yeah.
And originally I think he was supposed to be in 1 episode.
Right.
And maybe they looked at I don't know what the ratings are, but maybe they were reading reviews or whatever and like, oh shit, we need to do something. I just don't care.
How long do you think before Chloe comes back?
Oh, I have no idea. Is she doing? If she's not doing another show, she might.
I don't think she is. I don't know. But yeah, that reboots, man. Reboots. They need to stop.
Yeah.
Stop with the reboots. Stop with the remakes.
And you know, I reading some of the reviews on this and talking to some of the writers. The idea was, hey, we're bringing back the concept of 24. The show was never about Jack Bauer.
Yeah,
the show was about the concept, and it's like, no, you could have renamed it the Jack Bauer Show, and it would have been just as effective,
right?
Because it really did become about Jack Bauer. I didn't care. Now I enjoyed the way the show was designed with the idea of like, you know, each episode's an hour in the day of, but I also enjoyed the 24 movie where they didn't do that.
Right.
It was the character that I came to care about. So now you're rolling out this same concept to me, but this new guy's really not interesting. Nobody on the show really interests me, and it's the same group of writers.
Right.
Which I think was a question you had asked me is, you know, are these the same writers? And sure enough, according to IMDb, it is. So I have to go with, I just don't care about the characters. Maybe it's the actors who just aren't selling it that I'm not getting into. The lady who plays the former head of CTU, who's Jimmy Smith's wife, don't care. I mean, just watching her on screen, it's like paint drying for me.
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with the casting, but also a lot of it has to do, for me, the story is a lot weaker. I mean, when I saw the first episode, I'm like, oh, this is maybe 5 episodes, unless they really 24 it up and start throwing all these other plot points into it to kind of extend the show.
Right.
But what they had for that base after the first episode, I really didn't care. I mean, like, why did I watch episode 2? I mean, it doesn't. There were so many stupid things in that first episode that really just annoyed the shit out of me that made me not want to watch that show. And 24 did that to a degree.
I think, especially in the later episodes.
Yeah, later
late seasons, rather. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that, but they got away with it because you already, you
were invested. Yeah. You were invested in Jack Bauer,
right?
And no matter how hokey some of it got, you still wanted to see Jack,
right.
Chew the scenery and go, damn it,
yeah, Like for instance, on episode 1, which is the only episode I've seen, the guy gets the phone with the list from his friend, right? Mm-hmm. So, spoiler alert here if you haven't seen the show yet. There's a list of ops, and basically this list is going to go out, and if it gets sold, then all these people are going to be, compromised, and a bunch of deaths are going to happen. It's bad news. So he has this list on the phone, and he gets into a firefight and sets the phone down to have the firefight. Wouldn't you keep that on your person? Put it in your pocket.
It was a flash drive.
Yeah. Oh, it was a flash drive. Was it the flash drive?
Oh, he had the flash drive in the phone.
That's right, yeah.
And then sets the phone down, and then he comes back to the phone. The flash drive's gone.
Yeah, this guy's like, I'm going to get some money for this. Blur. I'm like, no.
And that's probably one of the most, the least believable characters on the show. Is, his buddy who suffered some form of PTSD over there, and she's like, it's all a big conspiracy, man.
Right.
Go, oh, my God.
It's like Boomhauer from freaking King of the Hill
he
or
pretty
something.
Much is. He pretty much is. And we could do a whole show on Jimmy Smith's hair. God, that annoys the shit out of me.
He's never had good hair.
No, but I mean, now it's just like, could you even try? Could you throw some product in? They're doing that. Hey, man, it's really receded over here, so let it drop down. Like, come on. Right. That makes it look worse.
He just has, no hairline. I don't know. It's like he doesn't part of the middle right. It doesn't look right on one side. Even as Bail Organa, I was like, what are you doing with that hair?
It just didn't work.
Yeah.
It just
Speaking of Bail Organa, when you saw Rogue Squadron.
Yes. Finally saw it.
Yeah, you did finally see it. Wasn't Bail Organa in Star Wars? Wasn't he in the movie? Or no, he wasn't in the movie?
No, he was in the prequels.
So he was killed in Star Wars when they blew up.
Alderaan.
Alderaan, okay.
Yeah.
Alderaan,
yeah.
Okay, so he wasn't the old guy that she goes and hugs when they get to this.
No.
Okay, I was going to say, because that's a real weird inconsistency if that's the case.
But no, totally different.
Off topic, sorry, but that
no, that's, yeah.
But we definitely need to talk about Star Wars Rogue Squadron at some point.
We should.
Which is a reboot, technically.
No.
Star Wars remake.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's a reboot. I think it's another chapter in the story. A reboot would be... Actually, Force Awakens was a lot closer to a reboot than Rogue One was.
True.
The more you watch it, you're like, wait a minute. But thoroughly loved Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Rogue One it had more of that old school feel. And probably because they shot it differently. And
right. On a smaller budget.
Yeah, and when it takes place and whatnot. But again, I enjoyed Rogue One.
I call it Rogue Squadron, I think.
Or Rogue Squadron, yeah.
Is it
Rogue One. It's Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah, but thoroughly enjoy it. I thought of it as like another Star Wars tale that had not been told yet.
Yeah.
So I didn't really see that as a reboot or a reimagining,
right,
if you will. But, I mean, and you have two different ways of doing that. You have straight-up reboots like Ghostbusters.
Right.
And then you have the...
well, then there's remakes.
Where it's going to... Yeah, you've got that remake, which is what that is. Mm. But then you've got the, hey, well, we're going to change the franchise and kind of add to... And well, like with TV shows, was what I was trying to think of. I don't know if I stalled long enough till I came back around.
Yeah.
Where you had TV shows like Dukes of Hazzard.
Right.
So the movie, not a reboot,
right,
or a remake, but it's just now we're going to take what was on TV and we're going to put it on the screen and we'll try to make it sexy and whatnot, and you end up ruining it.
Basically, yeah.
So you've got that type of thing as well. I mean, really,
except Jessica Simpson looked nice.
She did.
But
honestly,
but they did reboot Dukes of Hazzards. They brought it back with the cousins or whatever the hell.
No, that was not a reboot.
What was that?
That was Desperation.
That was still a.
That was not a reboot. No.
So it was a spin-off,
no,
I guess? Or
that was what happens when you don't pay your lead actors.
Right.
They just basically continued with the same scripts changed the names, brought in Coy and Vance, and then when they're like, "Wow, this sucked," then they were like, "Here's your checks, Mr. Schneider, Mr. Wopat," and then they came back. So really, it wasn't a reboot; they just kind of replaced the actors.
Kind of like Smoking the Bandit 3.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's got to be other TV shows where they've gone in
something like that.
You know, I just noticed that on Arrested Development. I forget how many times I've watched that, but they replaced one of the women who was playing Joel's girlfriend, who Michael liked. They replaced her after 2 episodes with another actress.
Yeah.
It's like, son of a gun.
They did a lot.
Yeah, but I think that's a little bit different than, hey, we're going to just totally do this, different actors, which was like Ghostbusters was. Well, now they're female.
Right.
Okay, and yeah, fine, girl power. But does it need to be done? Not because it's women, but it's like Ghostbusters isn't that old a film.
Right.
And wasn't it good enough? I mean, really, I think if you're going to redo a movie, you shouldn't be like, well, you know, they swung for the fences and they hit a double, but we think we can, you know, knock it out of the park this time. That's great. But
Hollywood doesn't do that enough. They remake stuff that's beloved instead of remaking stuff that wasn't great the first time.
Yeah.
And that really annoys me. There's a lot of movies out there that had good scripts, maybe in the wrong hands of the wrong director or something like that, and they were, you can see it, you know, basically like, oh, that's a really good script, but the movie sucked. Let's remake that. Like Ocean's 11, I think, was a good example of that. The original Ocean's 11, not a great movie. It's fun.
yeah,
You know,
I mean, that's one that's near and dear. It's like, you know what? I don't care what you say about Clooney. He's no Sinatra.
Yeah. But I thought the reboot,
and it probably was,
nice.
and I don't watch it just because I agree. Having watched the original Ocean's 11, not a great film, but it's watching. It's just basically watching those guys hang out, basically, which is, it looks like fun. So I enjoyed that, but there's somewhere Front Page. You ever heard of it?
No.
You ever heard of His Girl Friday?
Yeah.
Remake of Hit for Front Page.
Really?
But it was it was a male editor and a male reporter. And then they get the idea, they change it up, they bring in Rosalind Russell, you have an instant classic. So you can remake Front Page. Why are you going to remake His Girl Friday, though? I mean, now it's like, now they got it right. It was like when Warren Beatty and Annette Bening did a movie called Love Affair.
Which was
Carrie
Affair to Remember.
Yeah, but again, Affair to Remember, a remake of the original Love Affair. It's like, pretty much nailed it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
To me, and there's certain songs that are that way.
Yeah. True.
It's like, whoa. Don't try. It's like, it's a Zeppelin song. This isn't going to end well.
Yeah. There's like an influx of Beatle remakes now. I don't know if that's where that came
man,
from.
and that's one of those where, you know, unless you're going to do this acoustic, you know, apartment mix of it, it's like, just don't try to sound like the Beatles. There's certain songs that people can cover, and some where it's like, man, just don't. And I think movies can be like that too.
There's one at the end of it's a kids movie, but I thought it was a really entertaining movie called Kubo and the Two Strings. And it was up for Oscar for Best Animated. It should have won. It's a stop motion movie, really cool movie. But at the end of the movie, they have a remake of While My Guitar Gently Weeps, but it's done in a Japanese kind of, you know, style, and it's really cool. I mean, that's something that's okay to me because it's a reimagining of that song. It's not just a straight
It's
up
not
remake.
like a cover version.
Yeah. So
that's one thing we could talk about at some point is cover bands.
Cover bands,
which is kind of the same. But I guess what Ghostbusters was probably the last big remake,
right?
That everybody talked about, and I think it was one of those where, depending on the type of criticism leveled against it, people thought it was, you know. Well, you're only criticizing it because it's a female cast.
You want to talk about the biggest remake of remakes that recently happened? Magnificent Seven.
Oh, yeah.
How many times has that story been told?
Well, seeing as how... we changed it up quite a bit when we told it over here because it was Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
Which, great film.
Awesome
But
film,
then you bring it over to America and you make it the Magnificent Seven.
Yep.
But again, it's like, why do we need to redo this? Magnificent Seven's a great film.
Right.
What are you going to do next? The Great Escape?
Probably.
They could. But what does it say about creativity? Are there no new honest to God, are all the fresh ideas on Netflix and Hulu?
Probably, yeah. Probably.
Because nobody can find movies to seemingly put into theaters.
Amazon's got some good ones too.
They do.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's always some sort of remake of something.
Right.
And that's just why, even they were talking about remaking Highlander. Mm-hmm. And again, it's not a great film, but it's a cult classic. Like, don't touch it. Just leave it alone. Let the fans enjoy it.
Yeah,
and for God's sake, don't cast Ryan Reynolds in anything. Love to hate Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, it was basically Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
That's all he can do, I think. I don't think he has range.
Right.
I should talk. I can't play anything other than myself. Did not really want to word it that way. Well, it's out
play
there.
yourself like a fiddle, man.
Yeah, there you go.
So you want a list of remakes that are coming up here?
Oh, are there more coming out?
Oh, I got a list.
All right,
this is 116 movie remakes and reboots currently in the works. And this list
is this in
February.
development or where? What? Or somebody has an idea? What's a website?
The website is denofgeek.com.
Okay, that's I respect that.
Ace
website.
Ventura is being remade, not with him. So
right.
All new thing.
Who cares?
Akira, which is a Japanese animation, is being made into a film. Of course, Disney's remaking everything that they've ever done animated, so Aladdin's coming out.
Beauty and the Beast, yeah.
Alien Nation, which was a movie and then a television series.
That was James Caan and Mandy Patinkin, right?
Yeah, is being remade. And here's one that's going to kill my soul. American Werewolf in London is American Werewolf in London is being remade. Don't know why they're doing that. Produced by the guys who do The Walking Dead. And, I don't know about that.
Well, right there, they guaranteed butts and seats.
Yep. So, Beauty and the Beast, that's already listed. We know about that. Big Trouble in Little China, I heard about that one. That one doesn't need to be remade.
No.
When you have a movie that's a cult classic like that hit because it was weird and crazy, you're not going to make it weird and crazy like it used to be. It's not going to work. And it's also got The Rock, which is not... The Rock can't play goofy, I don't know.
He can do that eyebrow thing. That's probably better.
Right. The Birds, they're remaking The Birds.
What? No.
Here's another one that was a cult classic that really didn't do well when it came out. The Black Hole.
Really? I liked The Black. I actually have it on DVD.
I do too, yeah.
I think I paid like $35 for that on Amazon. It came from someplace overseas.
They're remaking The Blob again.
Yeah, that's
Blue Thunder.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yeah.
Jaffo.
Car Wash.
Oh, come on!
I know. Like, who the hell are you going to get to be in Car Wash at this point? I mean, the original had like all these great. It was George Carlin, Richard Pryor. All these greats. There's no greats like that nowadays. Charlie's Angels being redone. Chronicles of Narnia. They're already rebooting that.
Are they rebooting, or is that like the fourth in the series?
No, they're going to remake them.
Lord, okay.
Cliffhanger, that Sylvester Stallone one.
Why?
They're going to try and make Clue again.
Okay, some people told me that was a good movie.
Yeah,
or enjoyable at least.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. They've been doing those slowly but surely. All the original monster movies have been coming out slowly but surely. The Crow's been one that's been on the board for a long time.
Yeah, they've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah, Das Boot.
Really?
Yep. Death Wish again. So they already had the new incarnation. It was Death Warrant with Kevin Bacon.
That was the rebooted Death Wish?
Yeah, that was rebooted Death Wish. That was like more closer. It was closer to the book than
really.
Death Wish.
Did not know that.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which is a classic.
Oh, come on!
A classic, and that was a remake of Bedtime Story. So I mean that with David Niven and crazy guy.
Can't think of his name.
Marlon Brando.
Oh yeah.
So Don't Look Now, which is another classic from the 70s with Kiefer's father.
Oh, Donald Sutherland.
Dumbo, of course. You knew that's coming. Dungeons and Dragons, they're going to try that again.
Wow.
Escape from New York.
Wow.
Basically
so,
Kurt,
I was going to say John Carpenter, Kurt Russell. What else you got?
Every Which Way But Loose.
Oh, come on. That was not a great film, but it was just... why reboot that?
Here's one that I loved as a kid, and it hasn't aged very well, but I still really loved it as a kid. Explorers. Joe Dante movie. Explorers with River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
Flying through space and stuff, yeah. Fantastic Voyage. Flash Gordon. That's right. That's okay for a remake. I think.
I'm okay with that because you could do something really cool with that depending on you want to take your tongue out of your cheek.
Right.
You could kind of make a cool Flash Gordon.
Flatliners is being turned into a television show.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Flight of the Navigator.
Wow.
Another one from my youth. Friday the 13th is getting rebooted
again.
The Fugitive.
Again. Wow. And the movie was fine.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell, which is already coming out.
And the movie, basically an extended version of the TV show with David Jansen, which is a great show, but I actually like the movie. And that movie, I think you could say, is responsible for really bumping Tommy Lee Jones to that next level of recognition. Yeah, celebrity. He was great in that.
They're going to try the Green Hornet and the Green Lantern again.
DC's got to bring somebody in to do, to bring in for Justice League.
Right.
And Green Hornet, man, first of all, I love the car. But, man, Seth Rogen, it's like, again, could be a cool show. Here's why I love the Green Hornet. He's like the great-great-grandnephew of John Reed, who was the Lone Ranger, and I love the Lone Ranger.
Right.
So it's like, hey, this could be a cool guy. It's like Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
But again, I don't like Seth Rogen.
Hellraiser, which is a horror stuff, so you don't care about that, but they're rebooting that.
No, but,
Highlander, we mentioned that already.
Oh.
The Howling.
Wow.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. Inspector Gadget, again. They're going to make Inspector Gadget into
Do kids even know what the hell that is
anymore? They're going to make it into a Lego movie. So, Lego Inspector Gadget.
Now,
that'll do well.
Yeah, just start.
Lego.
Yeah, just throw money at it.
Invisible Man.
Yeah, it's been done.
Made by the people who did the Divergent series, so that's going to be crap.
Yeah.
You already knew about that. That's finally coming out. Jacob's Ladder, which
really?
was a pretty odd flick to remake, but okay. Jumanji, again, with The Rock.
Ew.
Again. The Rock does all these remakes now.
Yeah.
There's a ton of it. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which probably could use a remake because the original one was pretty bad.
Hey, that's a movie that drove Sean Connery into retirement.
Right. Trying Conan again.
Seriously?
Yep. Legend of Conan. Yep. Lion King is getting a live action as well as Little Mermaid. Little Women. That was remade like in the thousands.
They make that all the time. It's on the BBC. It's here, and usually if you watch the BBC series where it's 12 episodes, it's usually better.
Right. Here's one that I'm kind of intrigued by a little bit. Logan's Run.
Yeah, that. I think enough time's passed. It wasn't great flick. Mm-hmm. Interesting concept though.
Right. So it's being the remake's being written by the guys who wrote the BioShock video games. Which they're really cool video games, very deep, cool games with great stories, and directed by either they've got a couple of directors in there, but one of them is the guy that did Drive with
Ryan Gosling.
Good
movie,
very good movie. So I'm kind of intrigued by that. That could be actually pretty cool. Major League is being rebooted.
Oh, come on.
Yep. Don't know about that. Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Oh, go to hell. Go to hell. Who wants to... No. That's as bad as doing The Birds.
You want to hear what they're doing with it? John Wayne Western has been reimagined as an urban crime thriller in the vein of The Departed, The Town, and Mystic River.
Oh, please tell me there's not an Affleck associated with this.
I don't know. You
don't need to do... Reimagined it what? Because people can't relate to Western?
I guess, yeah. Masters of the Universe is being rebooted.
Here's another toy catalog.
This one really pisses me off because the movie is pretty damn close to perfect. Memento. Yeah, I know. He just rolled around in his chair.
Get the fuck out.
Memento. Yep.
Why would you...
And Christopher Nolan is not involved.
Of course not. That was a great movie. Fantastic concept.
Yep. Yikes.
Oh, yeah. That's horrible. Now he's going to have to, instead of putting tattoos on his body, he'll put them on his phone.
Right. Men in Black's being reimagined.
With
women. Mortal Kombat.
Video game stuff.
Yeah. The Mummy, again. We knew that. That's the one with the... That looks weird. Have you seen the trailer
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that thing is. It looks really odd. Here's a classic.
Well, I think that's just, because, he is in his 50s, and, he's probably had a little Oh, you were talking about the mummy. The mummy
I don't
looked
think he's
weird.
the mummy.
Oh.
He could be at this point.
Yeah.
You made me laugh so hard I put my cigar.
Sorry about that. I can't believe there's this many movies.
This many. So,
and this lack of creativity.
Here's one that I'm intrigued by.
I really need
like
to
the
finish my
director.
screenplay.
Murder on the Orient Express. And it's going to be written and directed by Kenneth Branagh. So
I think he'll at least show respect to Agatha Christie.
Yeah, he'll class it up. This one pisses me off. The Naked Gun with Ed Helms.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
You can't be serious.
I am serious. Yeah, and they're trying Nightmare on Elm Street again. Nosferatu, they're going back. They're going way back.
You know, it's funny. There's versions of Nosferatu out there, and depending upon the music they use for the silent movie, some of them are pretty good, some of them suck. You really got to find the right music to make that work.
Ocean's 11 is being remade with a female cast, with Sandra Bullock taking the role on for George Clooney as Danny Ocean.
Jesus.
Danielle Ocean, I guess. Pet Cemetery. Wow. Police Academy films are being rebooted.
Oh, come on.
The guys from Key and Peele are doing it, so that might be okay. But
Maybe.
Power Rangers we knew about. That's coming out now. Predators being rebooted. That's coming real soon.
Yeah.
Private Benjamin.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, the list goes on and on, man. It's ridiculous. The amount of stuff that the lack of creativity that Hollywood has.
See, now I look at it, something like Man Who Shot Liberty Valance and The Birds as, man, those are classic films. Don't touch them. But then you get to something like Memento, and it's like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. That's a great movie. That is an odd film. You got to pay attention.
Right.
Why would you even? That's great cinema. It's not. I don't think it's considered a classic. It probably should be.
Yeah. Have you
so
seen
well done?
Do you have the DVD of that?
Yeah.
With the thing where you can watch it.
Yeah, I've not watched it.
It's weird.
I can imagine.
It's weird that way,
but great.
It's. I like it better the other way, but it is weird. So here's another female reimagining: Roadhouse with Ronda Rousey as Dalton.
Why do you even need to remake Roadhouse?
Seven Samurais being remade, which we just had.
Seven.
They're trying Shaft again. I mean, it's just.
Okay, you know what? Just leave that alone. I mean, Sam Jackson didn't even pull that off. And if anybody is the spiritual heir to Richard Roundtree Shaft, it's Sam Jackson.
Right.
And that movie sucked. Christian Bale sucked in it.
It did, yeah.
And he doesn't suck in a lot.
True.
But it might have been early in his career where he's like, will the check bounce?
Yeah.
Now he doesn't have that problem.
Yeah. So I mean, it's bad. I mean, it goes on and on. Sister Act, Spider-Man again. The stuff I've heard about that doesn't sound good. Here's another classic, and this one's getting Splash.
Really?
Yeah, with Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum is not
Tom Hanks.
Sorry.
So. It's such a lack of creativity. You know what I didn't hear is not a ton of TV shows on there.
Yeah.
That they're trying to redo.
Starship Troopers again.
You know what? If they stick to the book, that could be interesting.
Yeah, the movie was awful.
In the book, completely different story.
Yeah.
Not even close. Mm-hmm. So that I could actually be okay with if they stuck to the book.
A lot of Hitchcock, man. Here's another one. Strangers on a Train.
Wow. Mm-hmm. How many times have I said seriously now? I'm just stunned. Why? First of all, I
don't even know why.
How do you look at a movie like that and go, yeah, I could do it, or I could do better? Yeah. You know what it needs, and maybe it's this idea of like, well, it was a great story. Like, well, then go tell a great story. Find a great story. And tell it. Don't take somebody else's great story and try to retell it. Well, we can get the kids. You know what? Do the kids a service. Take their phone, sit them down, and show them Strangers on a Train. Right.
And I mean, it's going to have to be a period piece because you can't have strangers on a plane. Really, had to be a long flight. I don't know. It just who takes a train anymore? They should have learned by Ben-Hur because that failed miserably. They're remaking the Ten Commandments.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, What was the last one they did? Exodus with Christian Bale?
Yeah, that one. And that's the same producers that are doing.
That was because they did Noah, Exodus.
Yeah, now they're doing Ten Commandments.
Man, it's pretty bad when Exodus was just horrible. It really makes the Ten Commandments look pretty. And the Ten Commandments again, big Cecil B. DeMille thing, not really what you would call. Well, if you're reading the book, then it's like this isn't exactly canon. Right. But Exodus was just way far out there.
Valley Girl. That was such a period piece.
How do you even? They don't even. There are no Valley Girls anymore.
No, there's not. That's gonna be weird.
Gag me with a phone? I don't.
Yeah. Van Helsing. They're trying that again. Oh, War Games. What?
Wow. Oddly enough, starring Matthew Broderick because he still looks the same.
Right.
So you can't go wrong
Still
there.
looks like a kid.
But like I said, not a lot of TV shows, and for a while there, it was everything that was on TV was making the jump to the big screen. Mm-hmm. They did Bewitched, and honestly, the only thing not a great. It's one of those shows that's memorable, not a great TV series. I don't think the Brady Bunch. When they brought that to the big screen, I think that kind of kept the spirit of it and was like, okay, that's like watching the Brady Bunch,
right?
Reimagined. But Miami Vice, was anybody clamoring for that?
Right. That one failed pretty miserably.
What was the other one? We had mentioned one earlier where they did a TV show.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah,
Angels.
and they try to make them all really stupid.
Right.
As opposed to this was a serious show, now we're going to do it as a comedy. They talked about doing a Rockford Files movie. Hell no, you don't need to touch the Rockford Files.
They did a Maverick movie.
Yeah, not bad though.
Yeah, that was
not bad. And there was kind of that nudge wink to the fact that Garner was the original, and but not bad.
Wild Wild West, they really screwed that one up.
They screwed the pooch on that one. Mm-hmm. They did. They totally screwed the pooch on that one.
Yep.
What was the other one they did? I was thinking they did Maverick. Well, it's trying to do them as comedies.
Right.
Magnum P.I. They had talked about doing that for you. Hell no. Tom Selleck's mustache will kick your ass.
Right.
If you can't sign Selleck's stash, then why do the movie?
Yeah.
'Cause, again, great show. And I think goes beyond the idea of, hey, here's an idea of a guy who is in the Navy, gets out, becomes a private investigator. Yeah, that's the premise, but at some point, it became the Tom Selleck show.
Yeah, totally.
Because he was that character, and you wanted to see that character. I think the same with the Rockford Files. Mm-hmm. It was, man, that's Jim Garner.
Right.
You really want to see Jim Garner be James Rockford.
Right.
Arguably, you could do the same with Liberty Valance, though. I mean, that was John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart.
Right.
Who's going to compare to that? Yeah, you can't. John Wayne didn't have a ton of range, but he was great in that film.
Yeah, he was a movie star.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely was. So it makes me want to finish that screenplay I keep talking about.
Right. Hey, you finish it and I'll film it. We got a 4K camera and all kinds of cool shit now. So
there we go.
Is it a talkie?
It's a talkie.
All right,
it's a talkie. Limited for a film that deals with science fiction. Not really science fiction, but there's some technical stuff in there. Time travel,
right?
But doesn't really not relying heavily on special effects. I'm going more for the story, than the visual. But it's a period piece. It's Ken's because there's time travel.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
So, and I keep reading. There's more and more time travel shows coming out. There's one coming out on NBC, and
a bunch of them.
I did read one. It was a book written by Stephen Fry, and I'm reading the concept. I'm like, holy shit, I'm getting sued. But there was enough of a difference in there, where it's like, okay, where he zigs, I zag, and I've got different motivation for the character doing that. Like, okay, I'd be all right,
right?
Because
doesn't that hurt your heart when you have something you've written a synopsis
well, and you
for
feel like I felt like it was so original, and I'm like, wow, that's really close to what I had come up with.
Right.
But then again, at the same time, I kind of like, hey, Stephen Fry thought of this. It's like,
right.
That's pretty good.
That's a high level of
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, that guy who wrote for that episode of How I Met Your Mother came up with, like, son of a bitch.
Like, fuck this idea.
It's like, I really need to raise the bar. But yeah, Fry did a good job on it. But again, I think there was enough differences there where you could say, okay, mine comes out different premise in the end. And
Right.
all of that. And people I've talked to about it, it's like, well, that's not really. It's like, it's fiction. I can end this however the hell I want.
Right.
It's like I don't. No. I'm gonna go totally off the reservation with it. So my characters, Nick Charles and
Two first names.
No, sorry, Nick Sherman and Charles Peabody.
Okay. Shut up.
Seriously, you get it?
Yeah, I get
that's
it.
right. I've got seriously. That's how I've written them. My little homage. I've got Sherman and Peabody.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Shut up, you.
yeah. So that's where I'm going. Originally, when I'm sitting there, because I did it, it was like this idea: what would you do for a class project? And then, well, actually, I had the idea. A buddy of mine threw something out. I'm like, can I steal that? He's like, yeah. Sat on it for months. And then class project came up and like, oh, who would you cast? Like, Viggo Mortensen and Alan Tudyk. So that was my ideal casting. So if it ever gets written and they're still acting.
There you go.
Speaking of Alan Tudyk, have you watched Powerless?
I have not.
Wouldn't waste my time.
Really?
No, it's
That's
horrible.
too bad. That's too bad.
It's really kind of dumb.
Boo.
Yeah, 2 episodes. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But if you're not watching This Is Us,
I've
good.
heard, yeah. I've heard
No,
there was
it's-
kind of an
it's-
episode that pissed a lot of people off this last week or so.
maybe because they cried.
I don't know. Yeah.
It was good though.
Yeah.
But still watching all the DC stuff with my kid.
How is that working out for you?
You know what? It's great because it's comic book stuff, and I'm sharing it with my kid.
Right. Isn't there supposed to be like a musical crossover episode coming or something?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah. We can only hope it's as good as the musical episode of Buffy.
Right. That was great. Yeah.
But yeah, not great. But it's time I get to spend with the kid, and it's
So
it gives her a little, it gives her a little taste of the comic book stuff. But there's stuff that, and even she'll start calling out, why did they do this? How did they? And I mean, there's just holes in these stories where it's like, wow, and some of the dialogue is just.
That's what turned me off on Supergirl. Was a lot of the dialogue was pretty schmaltzy.
That hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
And I forget, we were watching, it was The Flash. And there came this episode where he's gonna, the only way I can stop him is if I kill him. And it's like, no, Barry, what's always made you special is you've always found another way. Your mercy gives you strength. And my kid, she's in and she goes, bullshit. And I'm like, done a good job. And it's and again, why I love 24 was it's not fun. It's not great that you get to kill people. It's not like, hey, I get to kill a bad guy. But it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, if you're going to kill 1,000 people, and that means I have to put a bullet in your head to save 1,000 good people, innocent people, I'll do it.
Right. Yeah.
And in this, it's, he could take over the whole country. Well, we'll find another way. Like, no, no, kill him.
Right.
That's what you got to do. It's like, have none of you fuckers watched Saving Private Ryan? Has
Right.
nobody watched this movie? That's why Tom Hanks died. You
Right.
took pity on the Nazi. Never take pity on a Nazi.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm glad that she picks that up, where it's that whole mercy. You always lose me in TV shows with that, where, wait, so if I'm the good guy and I kill the bad guy, I'm a bad guy? No, not really seeing it.
Right.
Sometimes.
So, which of these are you watching? You're watching The Flash. You're
Flash,
watching
Supergirl. We watch a little bit of Legends of Tomorrow, which is
That's the time travel one.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah.
Don't watch Arrow at all.
Okay.
And I understand they brought in a lot of different heroes on that, which is kind of interesting. Some of the characters they've chose to bring in, but it became a soap opera. It became like Smallville. Like the first season of Smallville was kind of cool, and then it just became this teenage soap opera. And it's like, I don't care.
Villain of the week.
And Flash is kind of going that way.
Yeah.
I love you and all. I get that. Lois and Clark, classic romance, but. Honestly, as cheesy as it was, Lois and Clark, the TV show, they didn't really gag you with the it wasn't the super cheesy love story. Mm-hmm. The worst part, that was actually the best part of the show. The worst part is when Dean Cain had to go put on the costume.
Right.
That was pretty bad. But
so we're talking about reboots. Flash's reboot.
Oh yeah, it is.
It is.
Underappreciated show. I like the original.
I did too.
And they brought on a lot of characters from the original.
Yeah. Doesn't the guy who played the Flash
John Wesley Shipp? Spoilers. Mm-hmm. He's now Jay Garrick, which again, cheesy show, but that little bit of nerd in me is like, oh, he got to be Jay Garrick.
That's cool.
And but his costume's not great. Yeah. But they brought back the gal who played the scientist, Tina McGee. She plays Tina McGee, and then the guy who played his lab assistant was in an episode and died off right away. So little nods like that, and then they'll do nods of dialogue. To other movies and things like that. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool. Right. Again, it just kind of makes that inner nerd smile.
Yeah.
But
did you see Suicide Squad yet?
No.
Oh, God. Yeah.
No.
Watch that. We have to talk about it.
Oh.
I'm going to make you watch it. You watch it.
I think you actually gave me a copy of it.
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah, I have yet to watch it.
So bad.
And they DC, again, we've talked about this, and DC just has this habit of, we're going to make a dark, gritty film, and their comics were never dark and gritty.
Right.
And they were always the hopeful ones, and Marvel did the dark and gritty, and now they're doing the more lighthearted, not lighthearted, but more the hopeful superhero movies.
Right.
And then they're leaving the dark and gritty stuff for Netflix.
Yeah.
And doing a much better job than they ever did when they did the dark, like the Punisher movies.
Right.
Or Daredevil.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll say Suicide Squad definitely has more fun to it than the last couple of DC movies. But if you can make it through the first 30 minutes, it'd be a miracle. Because it is a straight-up horrible mess.
Wow.
And there's so much going on. And so many... My dad watched it with me this last weekend. And he, about 30 minutes into it, he's like, what is this the movie? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what is going on? Like, why... It's jumping all over the place. It's a mess. I'm like, yeah, it's a total freaking mess. Like, the story just skips, hops, and, they have, like, all these little bitty quick little things of all these, like, the Flash shows up for half a second and catches someone. And he's like, who was that? I'm like, that was the Flash. He's like, that was the Flash? I'm like, yeah, they don't even explain who he is. Or it's a freaking mess.
I wonder if they have the same editor for that they had for Justice League. Not Justice League, but Batman Superman.
Probably.
Because that, again, incoherent, just... Poor editing choice. Wow.
This is worse. It's not a movie until 45 minutes into the movie. And then there's some semblance of a plot, and then it just screeches to a halt, and you're like, all right, what's going to happen here? Well, the bad guy sucks. I got to sit through this. And there's like maybe one cool moment in the movie where you're...
DC doesn't... they actually do better with TV.
They do. And better with their animated stuff.
Some of their animated stuff is really great.
Yeah.
Some of that really is. How much time have we killed, Brandon?
We've effectively killed it. Yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up, kids. Thanks for spending whatever amount of time this was with us. If you're looking to find old episodes so you can spend even more time with us, Brandon's going to tell you where you can do that.
iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and you can also listen to us on our Facebook page. Just go to Facebook and look up Love to Hate, and you can go to Twitter and listen to it there as well. And hit us up on the Twitter feed at Love to Hate Pod if you want to give us any ideas.
Thoughts, suggestions, comments, concerns. We'll talk to you next week, kids.
Take care.